Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy Specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I hope you guys are ready to get this day started. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. And today is Lynn's birthday, y'all. So we got to sing happy birthday when she come on this morning. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for everybody that shared it, that commented. And thank you to everybody that joins the morning show every morning. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out to share with us, to do the morning show so that we can share information with you. And I hope that it helps somebody that you know who is living in crazy and that they are ready to stop living in crazy in their life and their finances. And if they are, this is the place to be. So you make sure you tell them to come on over here and join us, and we can help them out. Let's see. All right. Happy birthday, girl.
Hey, good
Happy
morning.
birthday to ya. And then you got your birthday
Happy
balloons.
birthday to me.
Look, and here's your crown. Here, happy birthday crown.
All right, all right. I'll take that virtually.
How you doing this morning?
Doing great this morning, doing great. We had some amazing storms to come through here last night. So if the Comcast Xfinity is shifty, you know why, because I don't understand every time that we have these torrential rainstorms here. I mean, it's like everything just goes awry.
Yep.
Yep, everything goes awry, guys. So good morning. Thank you for joining us for the Fearless Morning Show. Yeah, it's my birthday, July 17th. It's my birthday all month, but
All month long.
Today is really the day. And the quote for today, guys, is so fitting for this day, at least for me, and maybe it will be for you. It's a quote by Lucille Ball. I'd rather regret the things that I have done than the things I have not done.
Yes.
Talk about living your life like it's golden, right?
Yeah.
What are the things that you are doing in your life that you're intentional about doing, as opposed to just allowing life to pass you by? And we mention this often here on the show. Oftentimes you can get caught up in trying to capture the moment and not really be in the moment. So I'd rather regret the things that I have done than the things that I have not done. That's the motto for the day, and dare I say, for the rest of your life. It should be your motto. At least I know I am adopting that to my philosophy, or adapting that to my philosophy as we continue to grow here, guys. I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. Yes, I said it, America's #1. So I wanted to go ahead and go into the conversation this morning. I had so many topics that I wanted to share today, and I was like, oh my gosh, which one is the best for today? Because they're all great. They're all good. But what I love.
Did you lose you there, Lynn? I think someone may be calling in. Hold on we'll give her one. The quote is by Lucille Ball. I guess her phone, someone called. It's by Lucille Ball, and it's talking about, I would rather regret the things that I've done than to regret. We've got to live life to the absolute fullest. Why wouldn't we? Have you ever watched TV and be like, man, I wish that was me. I wish I could do that. Why can't you do that? Why wouldn't you want to try to do those things? You can do anything that you want to do as long as you set your mind to it. You go where you want to go. You can go to the club when you feel like it. You go drink and smoke when you feel like it. So why can't you live your dreams like that? You do everything else you want to do. Why stop it at living your dream? But you rather stop it at things that are detrimental to your health instead. So go out there, guys, enjoy. And at least you can say you tried and you have great stories to share with your family and friends after the fact. Let me see, Lynn. That way. I slept good last night. I'm yawning. Somebody had called in.
So yeah, that's the birthday shout out calls. You know how everybody does that on your birthday, and they come call back because they don't realize, hey, she might be doing a Facebook Live. They'll call back, but yeah, that's okay. So
it's your birthday. It's okay.
Right? It's all right, guys. But what I was saying is, in our family, a lot of us, our birthdays are in July. So my dad's birthday was July the 4th. My cousin's birthday is July the 5th. Her dad's birthday is July 6th. My birthday, of course, is July 17th. My best friend from high school, her birthday was 2 days before mine. And then my son, his birthday is 2 days after mine.
Oh, wow.
July 19th. And then my niece's birthday is also July 23rd. So there are a lot of birthdays in my family, and that's not everybody. I'm just giving you the ones that's right here really close together.
Right.
But what I thought was important, thank you, Catherine. So what I thought was important is the fact that as parents, because we have so many of us, and the birthday texts keep rolling in too. So we have so many birthdays in our family, and the children are super excited. My baby is super excited about the fact that it's my birthday today and that his birthday is in a couple of days. See, we don't get as excited about the birthday like the kids do. It's just almost like Christmas for them, right? It's almost like Christmas, the amount of excitement that they have around this birthday situation. So what I thought, in the spirit of that vein, I thought today's topic, today's financial confession, would be around what are those characteristics or those skills that parents should be teaching their children so that they can move from this middle class mentality to their next level. Okay. So what are those things that parents can teach their children? So 3 characteristics parents must teach their child to transition from the middle class to their next level. That's the topic today. And when I look at this, teaching, it's all about teaching your child to become wealthy not only in their finances, but in their health, in their relationships, right? This is financial, there's well-being in all of those areas. But in looking at this, the number one thing that I would say that has been most influential, and I'm watching my little one, and I know he's just starting out on this journey, but teaching him about the entrepreneurial spirit has been a game changer. And like I said, guys, my baby is going to be 8, but I can see the difference in the way that he thinks about things at this early age, as opposed to the way that I thought about things at his age, right? And you do an assessment of your life. How did you think about things at that age? What were the things you were thinking about? So teaching them to have that entrepreneurial spirit, it helps to cultivate. If you cultivate it at a young age, it gives them a completely different perspective as they continue to grow. And it'll be easier for them to start thinking about making their money, keeping their money, and growing their money, right? That's the whole premise behind this, because we're called to be good stewards. So, and the reason I say that, guys, even still, the greats like Warren Buffett, you like, Lynn, you love Warren Buffett. Well, guys, that's who I study. I'm studying the greats. I'm studying the persons that I'm imitating, right? Imitation is the best form of flattery. So looking at that, even Warren Buffett started teaching, at 6 years old, he would sell packs of gum to his neighbors, right? Talk about an entrepreneurial spirit. Or even JoJo's babies, they kill it. The Girl Scout cookies, you better know that you are going to get a message when it's time for Girl Scout cookies to come out. And they're going to be relentless in doing that and getting it out. And there's so many skills. And I love, JoJo was telling me about, what is it called? Cookie University?
Yep.
About Cookie University. Cookie University gives you all, all of those skills around selling. It's nothing but the entrepreneurial spirit that's being embedded within those children at an early age. And they don't even recognize it. All they know is, I need to sell these cookies. Just imagine if that level of intensity transferred to them in their lives as they move forward. Good morning, Tay. How are you? Good to see you on here. Guys, I had an awesome opportunity to meet Tay this weekend too. So, and my mom started reading your book. So we're super excited that we did get to meet you in Virginia. Okay, guys. So in looking at this, make sure that we're training our children to develop the spirit. Even still, you remember back in the day, you used to see that one kid who had the lemonade stand in your community, right? That kid who always was doing something. And even today, if we go back and look, if I look at the kids in our own neighborhood, they have their own businesses today and they're doing big things. So once you help your child to start thinking in that way, they don't lose it. See, the word even tells us, train a child in the way he should go and he will not depart from it, right? So training the children to think and do things differently, be good stewards with their finances, teach them how to make their money, keep their money, and grow their money. See, that's what I'm talking about today, guys. How do we help our children? How do we teach them to now transition? So that is number one. The other thing I want to add in there, I don't know if you guys follow Robert Kiyosaki at all, but Robert Kiyosaki has a game online that you can play with your kids for free. It's the cash flow. It's like Cash Flow 101. It's an online game that teaches students. You can, if you're a teacher, you can also use it with your students. But as parents, use it with your children to teach them how to think differently about your money, not to think of the what he calls the rat race mentality, right? Go to school, get a job, work for somebody else for the rest of your life. But it also teaches you to think outside of the box. What are some of those other things that you should be focusing on? So go Google Robert Kiyosaki's The Cash Flow Game, free online version. Yeah, I said it's free. So you can start and get your child to start thinking in that way. It's a beautiful thing. And it depends on the age of your child. Any age level of a child who can read can play the cash flow game. It's all about the level of intensity and enthusiasm that you bring to the table as a parent around this. So if you come in all humdrum and this is going to be boring, then the child is going to mimic that, because we talked about that yesterday. They're watching everything that you say and do. And then once you start doing these things, then they do it differently. Case in point, my little one, when he goes out with me to events, my baby is an introvert. It is what it is. But when he goes out to an event and mommy gives him a task or assignment, he says, well, mommy, can I help you during your presentation? And I'm like, yes. He changes into a completely different person, right? It's like he does a Beyonce and goes into his Sasha Fierce, but he has the male version of that. Don't get it twisted, right? He goes into his alter ego, if you will, so that he can get it done, so that he now participates and helps me out when I am out there doing what I do. So there are things that we can train our children to do, skills we can help them to develop, but we must cultivate that within them. So that first one is cultivation of the entrepreneurial spirit. It doesn't mean your child has to only own their own business, but at least they have the skill sets that are aligned with that they can now take those and utilize them elsewhere. See, that's what's most important. And the second thing, guys, then is a sense of urgency. Oftentimes, a sense of urgency gets a negative rap, right? Because sometimes people will call you, and I'm not talking about this sense of urgency. Somebody will call you and say, oh, girl, I need a favor, right? I need a favor. They about to turn my lights off. They about to, my car won't start, and my baby need this and that. And I'm not belittling anyone's situation, and I'm not talking about that type of sense of urgency, right? We have to recognize, but the sense of urgency I'm talking about, guys, is when it comes to getting things done. If you recognize and you cultivate that skill in your child is going to be the one that's going to do what? Get things done. Mm-hmm. So cultivation of that idea of life is short and we don't have all this time to play around, so I gotta be about my business. Mm-hmm. See, that's the sense of urgency that I'm talking about, because we look around us every day. Yes, my birthday, but I go back through my class, y'all. It's some people that are not here that graduated from high school with me. And you think about it, guys, there is a sense of urgency. I can't wait 5 and 10 years down the road to get started on something just because it's an idea. So cultivate that same sense of urgency in your child so that they now have an opportunity, guys, to naturally develop this can do, got to get it done, right? Spirit. And then they will move on to be successful. See, guys, we're talking about parents. These are things you teach your children. Help to cultivate the development of these skills in your children so they can leave this middle class mentality and move to their next level, right? This is how we train our children to become wealthy. This is how we raise financial geniuses, but these steps must be taken. So let me recap for those of you who are just now joining. We're talking about the steps. We're talking about things that parents can teach their children to help them to transition from the middle class mentality to building wealth. So how do you help your child? The first one was introducing them to the entrepreneurial spirit, teaching your child to develop that particular skill set so that they can think about how they make money. Not only how they make money, but how do they keep their money? How do they grow their money? What are the things that they're doing now? Creating a sense of urgency in your children is very important so that they know that there's a process to getting things done and that they are urgent about it. They say, well, you know what? This is a must do. I can do it. It is a non-negotiable and it has to get done. See, I'm one of those people, and this is one thing, you either love me or hate me for this. I'm one of those people that say, well, I need X, Y, and Z done. I expect X, Y, and Z to get done right today. And if those things are not done by today, we've had this conversation, then ultimately there's some things that need to happen. See, there's a sense of urgency behind everything I do. I'm intentional in everything that I do. So there's a reason, there's a rationale, there's a reason to the madness over here. That's Lynn, because there's a sense of urgency to getting these things done. But that has to be cultivated in the right way. Let's just say that it must be cultivated in the right way, because then some people say, well, then you're not patient with me, Lynn. No, it's not that I'm not being patient with you. And it's not the fact that you're not patient, because some people say patience is a virtue. Yeah, it is. But sometimes patience can lead to laziness. And it's not about being lazy over here, right? It's not about being lazy. So I don't want you to misunderstand. See, some things are taken out of context. And what I need you to understand, guys, is that you must create a sense of urgency for your children when it comes to these concepts, when we're teaching them. This is how you move from that middle class mentality to their next level. So we must teach them to do this. It just drives and it gives them the desire to get things done. The third thing, guys, the third thing that I wanted to share with you this morning is your children need to be goal-oriented and focused. Dare I say, parents, some of us are not even goal-oriented and focused on what it is that we need to do. But I will tell you this, no one sets out to create a plan, right? No one sets out to create a plan that's going to say, I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to be depressed. I am not going to have my life together. But Case in point, guys, that's what happens when you don't have a plan. Right? That's typically what happens when you don't have a plan for what it is that you want to accomplish. So it is very important that we're goal oriented and focused, following one course until successful, right? We're focused on what it is that we want to achieve, that we also cultivate those ideas, help to develop those skill sets within our children so that they can move, they can transition from this middle class mentality to their next level, whatever their next level is for them. And when you have a goal, then you can now identify and define what that next level is for you. Because my next level is not your next level, it's not JoJo's next level, it's not the next person's next level. So you have to define what that is for you, but without having a goal, without setting that plan in place, without being intentional in the steps that you're going to take to get there, then you cannot do that, right? In many cases, you will not accomplish that. And without having goals, you can set down a path and any road will take you there.
Yep, that's true.
So in looking at that, guys, the last thing I want to tell you, and I guess we'll say this one is the bonus. So before I transition over to my co-host, rich people are those people who have moved to their next level, or wealthy people, or whatever terminology you want to use. They are constantly improving themselves. Constantly improving themselves. So what does that mean, to constantly improve yourself? And I'm not talking about just your physical. I'm not talking about, oh, just go put on some makeup and do your hair, get you a new outfit. See, that's not what I'm talking about at all. And what I'm talking about is educating yourself, right? In reading those books. I set goals for myself every year that I am going to read 100 books. That's roughly 2 books a week. And I've devised a plan. I'm intentional in what it is that I'm reading and how do I get that reading done. Sometimes I have to use Audible. Sometimes I use Overdrive. Sometimes I download a book to my phone so I can listen to it, get the PDF so I can read it, or get the audiobooks. There are different things that you can do. See, you have to decide what it is that you want out of this, guys. And not only what it is that you want, you're also devising these things so that you can cultivate the same type of skills in your children. See, this is how we teach our children to move to their next level. And that's what we've been talking about today. So let me do a quick recap for you, right? And you say, well, Lynn, you are America's #1 financial rebound coach. Why are you teaching us all of this, guys? Because there's a process. All of these things are cyclical, meaning that they are connected, because the way that you do certain things in your life also overruns, right, or overlaps with the way that you do things in your money, in your relationships, in your health, so on and so forth. Everything is interconnected, so you need to be aware. So what are those things that we're teaching that parents should teach their children to move from their middle class mentality to that of being wealthy? The first one that I gave you this morning, just as a recap, guys, we must introduce our children to that entrepreneurial spirit. We must introduce that concept to our children and get out of this mentality of the rat race. It doesn't mean, let me be clear, it doesn't mean everybody's going to start their own business. I get that. And don't shoot the messenger. I know that. I had to grow and develop to this point myself, right? Everyone does it, but at least give your children the opportunity to decide. Oftentimes, we get in this train of thought that these are the things that you have to do. You have to go to school. You got to get good grades. You got to go to college. You got to do this. You got to do that. Not saying anything's wrong with any of that, because I took that path and I turned out just fine. However, there are also other things that are out there that we need to now teach our children. See, and that's another thing that I've learned also in reading the book, the differences between the middle class, the millionaire and the middle class mindset. See, the rich guys, they don't focus on the education part so much with their children. Did you know that? They don't focus on that. See, that's the middle class mentality that's focusing on that. Dare I say, there's some historical things behind that too, as to why the education system is set up the way that it is. But we don't have time to get into that lesson. Maybe we'll get that the next time, as far as the thinking and the rationale behind the way things are done. But guys, if you are ready to move to your next, if you're thinking about teaching your child some of those things to get to their next level, one of the things that I've done, I have written a book, Raising a Financial Genius, but I also have another course that's coming up, guys, that's going to help you to go to your next level in your investing as well. And it's the Investing Blueprint. You've heard me talking about that, because we must be intentional as we move forward in creating these opportunities, not only for ourselves, but for our children. So if you want to schedule some time to talk to me about the next steps, go to bit.ly/talk to Lynn. Let's get on the phone. Let's have a quick conversation to determine what is going to be the next best step for you if you're ready to move. Not talking to the interested. I'm talking about the committed. Are you committed to going to your next level? Yes or yes, right? Yes or yes. So that number one was teaching your children about the entrepreneurial spirit. Number two, there must be a sense of urgency. Life is too short, guys, for us to play around and continue to play these games. And then number three, guys, you must be goal-oriented and focused. So have goals to get to your next. And guys, the last one, this is your bonus. Constantly improving yourself is a must. It is a non-negotiable. You must continue to work on yourself day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. Guys, I thank you so much for joining us for the conversation today, and we'll look forward to seeing you on our next episode. But I'm going to transfer it over. I'm getting ahead of myself. Transfer it over to my co-host, Miss JoJo.
That's all right. One of the things, and I posted your links for you, Lynn. One of the things that I want you to think about with your children as well is your children are smarter than you give them credit for. So don't limit your children because your mind is limited in what you can do. You don't put that same limitation on your child. If your child tells you what they want to do and what they want to be, please, by all means necessary, try to help them make that come to pass. And when Courtney wanted to be an OBGYN, I reached out to a few and asked could they talk to her. When she wanted to be a baker, I called some friends and asked could they talk to her. Immerse them in what it is that they are interested in doing so that they can see that. Because if they think that you're not supportive, right, every kid doesn't have that gumption to say, I don't care whether my parents love and support me or not, I'm going to make this happen. A lot of kids don't have that, and they have this great dream, and if we as parents don't support them in it, it will never come to pass. And so help your kids out today. If they're excited or interested in doing something, give them some information about it. Find somebody that can tell them a little bit more about it, so that they can see the back end of it. My daddy instilled in me it's all I've ever known is to have your own money, don't work for nobody, and you ain't got to hear nobody's mouth. I've heard that since I've known myself. I've heard it my entire life. And so once you hear that and it becomes instilled in you, and I was the kid Lynn talked about, I had my own library. By the time I was 7, I was checking out, I would have people could come to my house and check out my books. I had a whole library system and a library card. Don't get it twisted. I sold hot dogs, honey. I would dance and sing and charge you to come in to hear me sing and dance. When I tell you, I was an entrepreneur from get-go, and it stays with you. So encourage your children to do that. Let them if they're interested in something, call somebody, and so that they can see the back end of how it really, really works. Right. And it would change your mind. My kids, many days we have, I call it business meetings, and that's truly what it is, where I sit down and we have developed processes and I show them how this works and how this works, and it changes their mindset. So make sure that you do that. All right. So the fearless thought for today is Good morning, Kimberly. Is don't be arrogant in your growth, in your change. You've got to stay humble. When we start out on this fearless journey, a lot of times we're feeling so good about ourselves because we are finally living out of crazy, right? You finally have this freedom of my life is not crazy. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then here's the part where you don't want to get it twisted. Don't be arrogant with it. So if
Right.
somebody says, "Oh, JoJo or Kim or Lynn, how you doing?" and then you want to be arrogant about your process of what morning Malachi of what's going on, you're going to turn people off from getting what they need to get out of your journey. You've got to stay humble. And one of the first things you cannot do is, girl, let me tell you, and then you start with the pointing and you need to do this, and then you're going to break down all of her problems when you 1 second out of your own problems yourself. So you've got to walk a very fine line. Stay humble, especially when you're going through this change and you're going through this challenge and you're growing to be a great person, better than what you already are. You just adding on to it. Be humble with that so that someone can approach you and ask you. Because if you come off arrogant, like I've changed and I'm living my best life, and then you're arrogant with it, you're not going to be able to share your message. And the whole point of your growth is to share your message now that you know you are charged with sharing it with somebody else. So please be humble today. Check your attitude, check your arrogance so that you can teach somebody. Remember, somebody's waiting to hear your voice and they will not move until you move. But if it is wrapped in arrogance, they're not going to be able to
Right.
hear it anyway. So just be mindful of what you say today, how you come across. I always want to be humble. When somebody asks me a question or asks me how I did it or what I'm doing, please try to stay humble with that so that it's easier to get your point across and to influence somebody else to change and to get out of crazy than it is to come at them with the ego, with attitude, with I'm better than you, and being arrogant. It'll never get you anywhere. And what you'll find is you're going to be so arrogant about your own situation that you just came out of, you're going to slip right back up in there. I promise you
Right.
that's going to happen. So, all right, guys, that is my fearless thought for the day. It is, what's the day? Tuesday. What's the day? Take Action Tuesday. So that's your
Yeah.
action taken today. Be humble in all that you say and do, including at your job and the people you interact with. Always be humble. It will get you more places. It will get you a better outcome than it will being arrogant. And there's a difference between being arrogant and being confident. I'm very confident on the information that I'm telling you is real, and I am
Right.
confident that what I'm telling you is going to work. I am confident of that. But I'm not going to be arrogant and say, if you don't do it, it ain't going to work. You may find other ways. I'm just here to give you an example of what you can do. So, guys,
Absolutely.
be mindful of that. And don't forget to share this morning show. Thank you guys for sharing the morning show yesterday. We did great. We had over 130 views the last time I checked. So thank you guys. So please, if you know anybody who needs to live past crazy or who's already living in crazy and it looks like they're enjoying it, please have them come over here to the Fearless Morning Show so we can impart to them some great information on how they can live past crazy. Of course, you got our YouTube channel. So for those who don't have Facebook, you can share the YouTube channel with them because all of our videos are over there. I load them every single morning so that they can get those, and they are by topic. So you can pick a topic and share it with anybody. And then last but not least, let me find this link, hold on. If you guys want to join me on the Be Fearless journey of me doing something different I'm say every week, I don't mean every day, every week, where I'm going to do a different journey because, it's all about living fearless, then make sure you sign up right there on the Be Fearless website so that we can get started on this journey together. Lynn and I are going to do roller coasters. We're going to do zip lining. I know I'm determined to learn how to dance. I don't know when I stopped liking to dance. As a kid, let me tell you, I had a 45 and a microphone, and a keyboard. When I tell you, Lynn, You could not tell
JoJo,
me.
what's a 45? What's a
You
45?
don't know what a 45, the little bitty album. You know, they used to have the big albums, but the 45s were just like the singles. They only had one song on it. Lynn, you know what a 45 is.
I'm just saying we might have some little ones on here watching, and they're gonna be like, "What in the heck is a 45?" So you went past the Walkman, which they don't know what a Walkman is.
You remember the boom box?
All the way back. You went all the way back. They don't know nothing about a 45.
Girl, they better get on them 45s and my boom box. You know I had a boom box too. That thing was, I only weighed maybe 70 pounds and my boom box weighed just as much as I did. And I was struggling carrying it on my shoulder. Could not tell me anything. And that, my friends, became my, that's where I began my music and dancing career right there. Because my daddy told me I could sing and dance. And oh, I believe that, honey, to the T.
But you know what? It's something I never understood. Why the shoulder? Why did those guys go around with the boombox up on their shoulder?
The music could be right there in their ear, like Radio Raheem. You know, you wanted to hear it right there.
Okay.
They wanted it to be right there in their ears so they could hear, Lynn. That's the important thing. So I'm taking it back to the basics of what I love to do, and that is sing and dance. So I'm going to work with a professional. Y'all will get to see the bloopers of it, but I'm going to work with somebody so that I can bring that. But this is the year we're going to finish out this year strong, of getting over some things that we are fearful of. And then once you do it, you be like, why was I afraid of that now tell me, why was I afraid of that in the first place? So swimming lessons are on deck. I used to could swim, and then I let somebody scare me out of that. So swimming lessons, singing and dancing, and my roller coaster and zip lining. So
it wasn't somebody.
What?
It was this. Don't get it twisted.
That's right.
Don't get it twisted.
Girl, especially you at the pool and you thought you were cute, you best not splash your hair, honey. Please don't spray. And I know put hairspray up in that joint too to get it cute and big.
Right.
No, ma'am. All right, guys, thank you for joining the Fearless Morning Show. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We appreciate you coming on here every morning to hang out with us so that we can share some information with you. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel so you can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows. And if you have any questions, Lynn and our information is listed below so you can reach out to us. And you guys join me on this fearless journey. Tell me, what's the one thing you're going to do to end out this year that you are afraid of, that you're going to overcome? And maybe it's something I need to do too. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. It's Lynn's birthday, y'all. That's why I had the birthday balloons up for her, and this is her.
And they stayed up. Those are some good balloons.
Aren't they? And they're not even fall. I got two that falling, but the rest of them are hanging on there pretty good. And this was Lynn's birthday crown. So, yeah, you guys make sure y'all tell Lynn happy birthday. Sing her the happy birthday. So I already sung, so you missed my great singing this morning. So y'all make a video for Lynn and sing happy birthday to her. And I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.
Signing off.